And he said, yeah. He said, math is, he said, in a multiplication problem, the problem is a pattern. I said, oh yeah, I remember that now. Like, no, I'm serious. I remembered. Like, if you want to put, what's the one we had, John, that we were doing? We were doing 111 times, what did we do? Times 6. If you did 111 times 6, it would make 666. And that's called the product. So you got 111 times 6. That's the problem. That's the multiplication problem. But the problem is a pattern. It's just 111, 111, 111. It's 111 6 times. I know you know this. I'm just reviewing it because I'm going to go somewhere with it in a minute. You're going to love it. But that's the problem is a pattern. So it's 111, 111, 111, 111, 111, 111. 111 6 times is 666. That's called the product. The product. Now 666 isn't usually the kind of number that you want to come up with. And so let's say I did it 111 6 times. 6 111s. That's the pattern. That's the problem. That's what's on this side of the equation. Well, for you, it's on this side. So it's on this side of the equation. That's the pattern. That's the problem. And here on this side is 666. That's the product. That's the answer. You know what the Lord told me to tell you out of that? If you don't like the product, you got to change the pattern. And see, this is so critical because some of us don't like what we're getting in our life. And we don't like the way our relationships flow. We don't like the way our bodies look, and we don't like the way our bodies feel. And we don't like the way that we go running around from this thing to that thing, and we don't like the way that our lives are constantly feeling empty. That's the product, 666. So if you don't like that product, you can hate the product all you want. You can stare at the product all you want. But the problem is not the product. The problem is the pattern. Now, I'm coming after your excuses. Because so often, we want to blame the tree for the fruit that's not there. We want to blame God for the blessings that He didn't give. We want to blame people for the opportunities that they didn't let us have. We want to blame circumstances for the way things are. We want to blame genetics for the reason we're kind of fat. We got all these problems. All these problems. But folks, might I suggest that the problem isn't what they did to you, what they said to you, what they didn't do for you. The problem is the pattern of your response. It's the pattern. Let's change the pattern. If we put 111 one more time, and now we got 111 times 7. Now we got 777. That's a good product. How many of you like that product better than the 666? But you can't change the product if you don't change the pattern. You can't change your relationships if you don't start being kinder. You can't change the way people respond to you if you don't start sowing some good seed. You can't change the way your kids act if you don't start sowing some behavioral discipline and some TLC and some encouragement sometimes. You can't change the way your career's going if you don't start changing your work ethic and your work habits and your interrelations. You can't change your wisdom unless you change your input, because the problem is the pattern. Tell 7 people the problem is the pattern. The problem is the pattern.